It is creating the product that makes memories.
The hot water heater was leaking.
Creating affordable places for people to live.
They're going to increase my rent.
Yo tuve que enfrentar un desalojo.
It's very important for us that we're able to deliver great service to all of our residents.
The roof was leaking.
When it rains, it floods.
Las ventanas no suben.
We had an issue with mice. We had an issue with the heater.
Tengo moho en la pared.
My hope is the folks here at Blackstone, at Invitation Homes, and our investors can go and see families with affordable housing.
But it turned into a nightmare. I am a tenant of Invitation Homes, and I want to repeal costa-hawkins.
Thank you.
Costa-hawkins is a law in California that makes it so single-family homes cannot be put under rent control, even in jurisdictions that have rent control ordinances.
In 1995, the legislature passed the Costa-Hawkins Rental Housing Act, which placed three key limits on local rent control. First, it said local rent control cannot apply to any single-family homes. Second, local rent control cannot apply to any newly built housing completed on or after February 1st, 1995. And finally, Costa-Hawkins required what is known as vacancy decontrol, which means that a landlord must be free to reset rents to market rates when transitioning from one tenant to the next.
About 1/3 of the rental units in California are single-family buildings.
When I signed a lease in 2012 to become a tenant, I was excited about the opportunity of being able to rent to own. My husband and myself, we live here, and my daughter, when she's home from school, she lives here as well. We just had a great, existence here as a family.
I live in a single-family home. Invitation Home owns it, backed by Blackstone.
Steven Schwartzman is the current CEO of Blackstone. Blackstone is a private equity firm, and what Blackstone did around 2011 was create a company called Invitation Homes. Invitation Homes originally acquired foreclosed properties, discounted properties with the intention of one day selling them when the market went up, and realized that they could actually rent them and make pretty good profits.
So Steven Schwartzman is worth about $12 billion. Last year alone, he raked in $787 million at his position at Blackstone.
Uno de los dueños de la compañía con la que estoy rentando, Invitation Homes. Uno de los hombres más ricos de Estados Unidos.
He has a Napoleon complex, likes to put his name on things like libraries, and tried to put his name on his high school and failed. He also has a huge love of houses and mansions. He has a mansion in the Hamptons, in Saint-Tropez, a beachfront villa in Jamaica.
Yo vivo aquí en mi casa con mi esposo y mis dos hijos. El calentón nunca ha funcionado, pisos están quebrados. Cuando cae la lluvia, incrementa más el moho sobre las paredes. De un cuarto donde están mis hijos, les he reportado todos los problemas, ellos no han hecho caso.
The Costa-Hawkins Act ties the hands of local governments from dealing with the Blackstone problem. Since the mortgage crisis of 2008, large Wall Street financial institutions, like the global private equity firm Blackstone, have gobbled up millions of foreclosed single-family homes, and California is ground zero in the Wall Street absentee corporate landlord trend.
Steven Schwartzman is a corporate landlord.
These corporate landlords are trying to squeeze as much money as they can in order to generate returns.
It was just the perfect house to have a childcare business. But in 2013, we discovered that the area I was using for a playground was contaminated with lead. I notified the property owner, and they didn't do anything about it.
Corporate landlords have a whole set of investors that they're accountable to.
Steven Schwartzman, he is a 19% shareholder in Blackstone.
And what that means is that they also have to generate continually rising returns for their investors.
The majority of the money that he made was as a shareholder in Blackstone.
Because of the negligence of Blackstone, I lost the family child care.
El único que trabaja aquí es mi esposo. Él tiene 2 trabajos. En los últimos 5 años ellos me hicieron un incremento de casi $700, del cual yo ya no podía pagarlos.
Today, you can rent a home in a neighborhood that would have otherwise not been a choice for you.
I get a letter saying that they're going to increase my rent in July, an increase of $700.
Costa-Hawkins doesn't allow rent control to expand to single-family homes like mine. When my first rent increase came, it was a letter with $500 a month increase, and I just really thought they had the wrong person, so I thought maybe let me go ahead and contact them and get this letter to the right person, and the right person was me. And I explained if you knew what I lived in, the area I lived in, you wouldn't be increasing it, you'd pay me to stay there. The area I live in is called Death Valley because of the killings that take place.
Stephen Schwarzman, his 70th birthday party, he spent $3 million, and for his 60th birthday party, he spent $5 million.
Because we all want to get to that point where we can have what we want. If I was a little girl and I dreamed about having camels at my birthday party, I'd like to know that one day I could, but I don't want to do it on the backs of hurting people. With all the stuff that's going on, he has to have an ear of how many people are being put out on the streets.
Mírenos en las condiciones que estamos viviendo.
Of course, I don't think it was fair because they were the reasons why I lost my income.
I interpret that as a profit-making model, right? They're charging people more for less. Not only are they the largest landlord in the country, but they're one of the worst landlords in the country.
Companies like Invitation Homes rely on Costa-Hawkins to be able to raise the rents each year, which makes it harder and harder for everyday people to afford the rents.
Repealing Costa-Hawkins would give local government the ability to reduce a great deal of human suffering. Rising rents have caused widespread eviction, displacement, and disruption of families' lives. Housing insecurity and instability, eviction, and involuntary moving has serious and harmful physical and mental health effects on adults and children alike. Children who move frequently don't do as well in school. Housing insecurity and instability hurts workers' performance on the job.
We can see your greedy side.
Para mí la palabra casa significa mucho, es un derecho que tenemos todos los humanos, una vivienda digna.
You don't rent a home to move away.
It doesn't matter to them. They just want, they want their rent money.
For most Americans, they don't know, but Blackstone may soon become their new landlord.
We can see your greedy side. Blackstone, you can hide.